to thank Steve, Holly, and Hyman. There's a very unique opportunity. I don't know if you guys know, but this is the oldest Republican club in the nation, and that's very prestigious.
Mitt Romney commended us for that.
And we got a little thumbs up by Big Guy. So we should all be proud to be here, and I am honored to be here. Now, first and foremost, the reason I'm here is to throw my weight and support behind a few great people. And one of them is Wave. Me and Wave go back a while, back into 2008, 2009, when the Tea Party started to come together, and people were throwing rocks at us and spitting on us and everything, and it was just a couple of us. And we were getting pretty beat up out there. But we stood strong, and we graduated from the corners and the town halls to an effective machine that got candidates elected. You don't see about it, they don't write about us anymore. They think we're dead. And you know what? That's fine. Because you know what? Those good people are doing the work that what it takes to get a candidate elected. And that's going out to the houses, holding the fundraisers, gathering up, you know, excitement and buzz, because this is important. We're in a very critical time in our nation's history. And also, Stephen Sinclair, the gentleman I recently met Stephen, and I'm a pretty good judge of character. I think he is a dynamite fella, and plus Sinclair for council just sounds too good not to vote for.
By the way, his middle name is Cinquente.
Cinquente, look at that. It even has the nice little
Italian-American descent.
Italian-American descent. It's got a nice little ethnic twang to it. I like it. But also Wendy Long, who can't be here. I don't know if anyone has met Wendy. Yeah? Okay. Wendy is a powerhouse of conservatism. She is brilliant. She clerked with Supreme Court Justice Thomas. She's worked very hard. Her and Kirsten Gillibrand kind of came up the ranks together. And then at some point, Kirsten had this crazy little, you know, dodge to the left, and she became the bride of Chucky. You know, that was the end of it. Now, guess what, New York? We're #1. Did you know that? The worst individual tax rate in the nation. We're #1.
50.
Nice, huh? And the whole state, we're #1 individual tax rate. Now, we're number 50 for hostile to start-up businesses. Now, that's terrible, because right now, there is a war on these mom-and-pop businesses. And I know, because I was a small business owner. And this was back in the 90s. And I started to see the writing on the wall. I started to see all these alphabet agencies coming into my little shot in a beer bar, who would come in with padlocks and start writing citations. Now I was a little you know, establishment. I put about 12 people to work, and they made their living that way. And people were coming in, and this one woman came in and she threw the padlocks on my bar. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and she just started writing. She didn't even introduce herself. And I said, "Miss, can I help you?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm here to shut you down." I said, "Really?" I said, "Who are you and where are you from?" She said, "I'm from the health department, and you don't have a food handler's license." I said, "I sell shots and beers. There's no food here. I don't even have fruit, because none of my customers drink any of those fruity tutti drinks." Okay? So she looks at me, and she gets up, she walks behind my bar, right past me, past my register. She goes into my ice machine, and she pulls out an ice cube. And she says, "Ice is food." Drops it on the bar. Calls the marshal, has me thrown out, and padlocks my bar. I had to go to school for 2 weeks to get a food handler's license because I have ice. I learned more about cheese, meat, poultry, fish. I could have opened up a restaurant at that stage. But you know what? I lost all my employees, and they lost their jobs. And it took me a while to get that place back up and running again, only to be confronted by another alphabet parasitic agency. Sanitation, fire department, health department, state liquor authority. There's a line outside your little establishment so they can come in there, take their pound of flesh and their pint of blood. And these startups, these are the drivers of jobs in our country, not just locally, but across the nation. And can't you see it? Everything is going to the big, gigantic stores. I think it's disgraceful. It needs to stop. Now, I started a group called the 9/11 Hard Hats. And I was spurred on by somebody who you won't believe, our Attorney General. Eric, we are a nation of cowards. Holder, everybody remember him?
Oh, yes.
He inspired me to get into, well, to become a political activist. And when I heard they wanted to take Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and bring him down to ground zero and have that trial right down there, I was appalled. And at that time, I don't know if you folks remember, that place was a crater. There was nothing there. It was a graveyard of death. And you know what? It was a mark on our nation. It told the world that we were beaten, that they got us. And I said to myself, man, could you imagine Al Jazeera here with a camera, pointing down at that crater, sending a message to our allies and to our enemies, we are ripe for the picking. There would have been a jihadist Olympics downtown. But you know what? I got some people together, my good old construction workers, because that's what I am. I'm a union construction worker. And people think, you know, they think union, they think, oh, this guy's a Democrat, this guy's a liberal, he's going to vote on. Not so. Let me tell you, the rank and file union members are staunch conservatives. And they are very excited about this election, I assure you. I was down at the Democratic National Convention in North Carolina, and there was like this secret little GOP group that I managed to get into, and I confronted Governor Sununu. Everybody see Governor Sununu? He's one of Romney's most pit bull, the guy's a Terminator, right? He's out there ripping up MSNBC, Andrea Mitchell, he's tearing it up. Guy's like, he's this big.
That's awesome.
And he is a monster. So when I spoke to him, I said, Governor, why aren't you appealing to the group that is, I mean, we're right in front of you. We need a sign. We need an olive branch. We're part of that middle class. When you can gauge the vitality of an economy by its commercial construction. And I don't care what any economists say. I don't want to hear nothing. Private commercial construction, if you're building, the economy is growing. And right now, that's not happening. You see a lot of public work projects going on. But what does that really do? That's our money to pay me to build, to take my paycheck to bring it over here. It's like taking the water from one end of the tub and pouring it into the other end of the tub. That's not growth. That is stagnation. But they want you to think it's growth. Now there's political corruption. Oh my God, how out of control is this? Have we become so apathetic that we're going to let this monster and his gruesome sex predator stay in office?
No.
I think this is intolerable.
Totally.
Think about it. Anybody with kids,
Yeah.
can you imagine? You know how hard you have to work to send your little girl
Same
to
as
college.
Sandusky. Same thing.
Same thing. Imagine she goes to college, she busts her tail, and you're killing yourself paying for her college. But you know what? She comes in late at night, just the same time you come in, she's got that spark in her eye. And to you, that warms your heart. You will work yourself to the nub to make sure your little girl makes it. And then the day comes when she graduates, you're beaming. And then she nails the big job. With the big, strong, powerful politician. Her career's going to take off with this guy. She can feel it. She gets there, everybody's nice to her. Oh my, her whole life is coming into focus. And then there you are, so proud, you're glowing. The aches, the pains, they go away. Because she's happy and that just makes you happy. And then until one day, that ugly day, over by the filing cabinet, or by the water cooler, that grotesque, perverted monster puts his filthy paws on her. And right then and there, her life changes. And she doesn't say anything, but you see it. Now, we've heard of it, they got caught. You know how many times it goes in before someone gets caught? And it's not just females either. It's male staffers too. And they come to me, and they're so embarrassed by it, they don't want it public. So it goes on and on. So help me God, folks. You put me in that position. If I even hear of something like this happen, I'm probably going to go to jail. You probably have to pull me off the guy.
Me too.
But I will not let that happen. I'm going to fight for small business. I'm going to fight political corruption. I'm going to restore the American dream that is in a severe state of decay, especially here in New York City. Any questions? I'm just here to make your life better.
What are the borders of your district where you're running?
I'm in Bay Ridge. It's not Staten Island, unfortunately. I got a great bunch of people in Staten Island because a lot of guys from Brooklyn make that little Verrazano Bridge plank right over. But it's Bay Ridge, it's Bensonhurst, Dyker Heights, and that's a great community. We got a great bunch of conservatives there.
What's the district, Andy?
It's District 43.
Good Republican district?
A fine Republican district. We just had some great debates last night. Congressman Grimm was there, Marty Golden, Nicole Malliotakis, and we have a congressman, a candidate for assembly running, Tom McCarthy. And we're all working very hard. But you know what? You have to be active. You have to be engaged. You have to get out from behind the keyboard. You got to get in that uncomfortable space where you're confronting someone and saying, you're doing wrong and you're God. People talk about term limits. We have them. It's called a voting cycle.